What's up, guys? Welcome back to RC Overload Tuesdays, and as I always say, where we answer your questions here on the show. Before we get into it, I just want to say I'm taking a quick break from the Tuesdays episodes just because I have so many videos I'm working on right now that I just don't have time to get those all done and edited and finish filming. So we're going to take a couple week break, probably, maybe max a month, from the Tuesdays episodes. I know you guys love these. I've been getting a lot of questions. A lot of you guys, my subscribers, are watching these. It's awesome. We're still going to continue doing them. I just need to take a little break to get caught up, and in that time there's going to be other videos that I'm filming and stuff. So a little backed up, but we're going to get back to schedule here hopefully soon. So again, a little break after today's episode, but you guys will see some more videos. I just finished filming yesterday yesterday at the time of this filming, a small video blog that I will be uploading here later on this week, so you guys should be seeing that soon. But with that being said, let's get into today's episode. First question of the day. I upgraded with the Castle 1406 Series 5700 kV. Wow, what a beast. But now I keep having slipper clutch issues. Any idea on upgrades? I wouldn't say that As far as I know, and I haven't really done a whole lot of looking around or trying, but I don't believe that there's specifically a slipper clutch upgrade for the ECX trucks. Depending on what you're having for a slipper clutch issue, for instance, if the lock nut is coming loose and it's causing the slipper clutch to, slip quite a bit because that nut keeps coming loose from the excessive torque from the motor. One trick you can do, in which I've done this on my Pro MT because I was having a similar issue when I was running the 2600 kV in it, that nut would just keep coming loose. Put two lock nuts on. Get one set where you want it and then put the other one down and lock that up against that nut. It kind of creates like a locking setup. If that's not the case and it's just your slipper clutch is too weak for that motor, you might honestly have to look at a different motor. It's hard to say. I'm not sure exactly what slipper clutch issues you're having, but that would be something I would try. Try putting on another lock nut and see if maybe that does help. Try tightening it down a little bit more. Make sure your gear mesh is dead on, and you shouldn't really have a problem. Just go easy on the throttle when you're first getting it into momentum, and then once it's moving, go and have fun. That's another little trick. But there's not that many upgrades, especially for the drivetrain for the ECX series. So. Hey Matt, do you like your new rear JK bumper? Looks sick, but does it get hung up on rocks or just about the same as stock? I love that bumper. That bumper is awesome. I would say in comparison, it's very similar to the stock rear bumper. It doesn't really hang much lower. It doesn't stick out much further. Plus, I'm also running 100mm shock, so my ride height is naturally a little bit higher than that of running stock 90mm shocks, so less likely for it to get hung up on rocks. But I wouldn't say that it's going to get hung up any more than the stock bumper if you're running stock ride height. Is it waterproof? I was trying to think of something funny to say to that. The Proline Ambush is not waterproof. It's water resistant. So you can go in like small little puddles gently. It can definitely go through wet grass, a little bit of wet dirt and stuff like that. But if you're submerging it, or like what I did in that mud bogging video I did, it's not waterproof by any means. I actually wrapped the ESC in a balloon and zip tied it. The battery is fine. I didn't have any problems with that. My steering servo actually ended up stripping out from that video, so I upgraded that. Something a little bit stronger. But that ESC in there is not waterproof. It's water resistant. So a little water can get splashed on it. No big deal. Just don't submerge it, because you'll probably have a problem. Hey Matt, I know you have updated the SCX10 with your new version along with upgrades, but the 90mm shocks from Hot Racing actually perform really well, as seen in this video. You now have the King 100mm shocks. Which do you prefer? I like the way the Kings look, but the Hot Racings perform well. I like a little more bounce, but I want to get the King shocks 90mm. What weight of oil do you prefer to get that kind of performance? Wait a minute, didn't you just ask a question? Isn't that kind of like cheating? No, I absolutely love the King Shocks in comparison to the Hot Racing. To me, for my driving style, I like more of a smoother operating shock. I don't like the bounce as much. The Hot Racing shocks, they are great. I actually never put oil in them. I put WD-40. Though, disclaimer, a lot of you guys seem to have an issue with WD-40. I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I'm going to keep saying it till the day I die. WD-40, I have never run into an issue with O-rings leaking. I ran WD-40 in those Hot Racing shocks for almost 2 years because I didn't want the oil. I wanted just natural compression out of it. I was just trying something, and I ran this truck like this for 2 years and never once ran into an issue with any of the O-rings. I use WD-40 on all of my stuff and never run into an issue. 90% of the time, the O-ring's just naturally going to wear out from the movement that's around it before the WD-40 is going to break it down. Though some of you guys, say that WD-40, whatnot. I get it. Everybody's personal preference, whatever anybody wants to say. Hey, there's no right or wrong way to doing that. But we're getting off topic here. Like I said, I like the King Shocks better. They work better. They're much more scale. It feels more like a more realistic to me in a sense, and that's kind of what I was going for with my truck. The Hot Racing shocks are beefy. Those just took a beating and kept going and going and going. These the King Shocks seem a little more on the delicate side to me, though I haven't really gotten to abuse them or like put them through their paces fully. They do very well from what I can see from the driving around I've done with them. So, I mean, I guess if you want more of like a beefier built shock, I'd go more Hot Racing. If you want more scale looks, go King. As far as the oil that I put in them, I can't honestly remember what I put in it. It's been so long ago, but I want to say I usually run my trucks right around 10 weight shock oil, 15 weight shock oil. Now that I'm remembering the SCX10 with the King Shocks, those are actually running 10 weight shock oil. Because again, I want that nice smooth, quick articulation. I'm not bashing it. I'm not racing it or anything like that. So I don't really need that higher weight shock oil to create more resistance. I wanted it more to have more movement than resistance, more flex, I guess. But you could always try putting in the Hot Racing shocks. Go with 10, start with that, and then if you find it's not enough, put in a little more. I believe the Hot Racing shocks also came with a set of springs that you could change out for different weights of, different spring rates. So that's also an option. I guess it really comes down to, beefy versus scale. Last question. I want to use the ECX for racing, not competitive, just for driving around on the track and racing some buddies of mine. Should I upgrade it or just buy an SC10 or a Losi XXX short course truck? That is all going to come down to preference, buddy. Really, how much money you have, how much money you want to spend. The ECX truck is a great, just go out there and beat the heck out of it. As you've probably seen in some of my videos, I've used it on a track. It works well with a brushless system in it. It handles fine. It's definitely a very light truck. So it's not going to handle in comparison to those 2 other trucks that you mentioned. If you have the extra cash, I would just straight out say go with those 2 other options. If you're strapped on cash, go with the ECX truck and, upgrade as things break. But those other 2 are more racing designed. I feel, even though you're not competing, I think those 2 trucks, if you can afford it and you want to go that route, you're going to enjoy it a lot more. And it may even lead into you actually getting into racing a bit. Whereas the ECX truck, it's great for bashing, bring it to the track once a week, and then just go mess around with it in your backyard type of deal. It really, stock, it's okay, it's not the greatest, but again, it's going to come down to strictly preference and how much you want to spend, really. So. Alright guys, that's it for today. My video suggestion of the week goes to Flight Test, which is RC aircraft stuff. They do a lot of cool FPV stuff, flying airplanes and whatnot. But this video specifically, they actually mount up an FPV system on an axial Yeti and try to go crawling it on this giant hill while filming it with a DJI Maverick. It's really cool. You guys should definitely check it out. I'll put the link in the description box as well as right here. And that's it for now, you guys. I'll see you guys here soon, very soon. I got a lot of editing to do, some more filming to do. But the weather's nice. It's awesome. I'm in short sleeves. It's great. Hate the winter. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time on the next RC Overload. Later.